There was a time when I could not say the word rape, and I couldn't even write it on a piece of paper because it scared me so much. The weight of that word was too much for me to handle. It was too big, too horrific, too heavy. So I couldn't say it. I couldn't write it down. Even though I had been raped when I was 16 years old, and even though I desperately needed help and healing, I could not say it and I could not write it down until I could. And the journey that led me to being able to say it and write it and everything that came thereafter was transformational, was deeply healing. Learning to say the word rape and to call rape by its name when that's what is being talked about helped me to heal, helped me to take my power back, helped me to seek the support I desperately needed. There's power in calling something by its right name. And that's something I've learned on my journey of healing after rape. I've learned that the tongue is powerful, that our words are powerful, that our written word is powerful, and we can take our power back and we can heal by calling things by their right name, by learning to be unafraid, by learning to look at something and saying, yes, that is what had happened, that is what I experienced, and I'm going to look it head on and heal and take my power back and find the support I need. This came to mind because I use TikTok. Love TikTok, love social media, love the internet so much. Here we are on the internet and I love it. On TikTok, if you use it, you may have seen that when people talk about rape or sexual assault, they use code words often. Rape becomes grape. Sexual assault becomes SA. It's these code words because it seems that TikTok censors stories on the subject. You'll see videos get taken down or not pushed out to someone's audience when rape or sexual assault, those words are part of the story. I noticed it myself with one of my videos. Typically on TikTok, I talk about sobriety, but I also made a video about SA, and it's pushed out less than any other video, which is interesting. And it got me to thinking, I'm so grateful for people who share their stories, even with the code word. Stories are so powerful. The tongue is so powerful. Our written word is so powerful. Stories can change realities and lives. We can share information. We can help people to heal with our words. The story does seem to change a little bit when we don't call something by its right name, doesn't it? The vibration of the story is different, and maybe that's okay. But what I have observed is there's something about addressing something by its right name, even if it's scary. And believe me, I know it's scary. I know this word is big. The word rape is full of trauma and emotions and memories, and it causes people to recoil when you say it out loud. And I'm not here to say that you should say it, or you need to say it, or you need to follow my lead, but I am sharing my experience and what I have learned in this journey of healing and what I have felt. Recently, I made a video sharing my journey of healing after rape. I'll link it below. It's the last video I made. And prior to making that video, I wondered, does TikTok censor, or does YouTube censor the same way TikTok does if you call something rape when it is, instead of saying grape? I looked it up. People had mixed reviews on the conversation, and I thought, well, when I'm offline, I use the word rape when that's what we're referring to. I think it's important to say the word when that's what we're referring to. Learning to say the word rape when that's what I'm referring to has been essential for my healing. And I call it that when that's what it is we're talking about. So I want to say it on my YouTube channel because I did not experience grape, I experienced rape. and I feel it. I feel that word. It's a big word. It's an act of violence. It's an act of war. It attempts to break people. When I say the word, I feel it in my body. And I know other people do too. I'm not sharing this to make light of anything or to pretend it's something it's not. In fact, I'm here to address it head on because I know people are suffering. I know people have been raped. Men, women, boys, girls, too many people. It's prevalent. It's all too prevalent. And I don't want to shy away from it because I know the power of addressing it head on. Because I have healed. And I didn't even think I could. It's a miracle. It's possible. The work paid off. As I shared in that last video, which I'd love for you to listen if you need that hope. Or just a lens, maybe my lens, to share that it's possible to heal. And part of that healing was learning to say the thing and call the thing by its right name. And I have a quote from Dumbledore. If you watched or read Harry Potter, I haven't seen or watched all of them, but I'll always remember this quote because it's so powerful. I think Harry was calling Voldemort he who shall not be named. Or they were all calling him that. I can't remember exactly, but Dumbledore says to Harry, call him Voldemort, Harry. Always use the proper name for things. Fear of a name increases fear of the thing itself. Ooh, yes, it does. I'm not saying people shouldn't say essay or grape or they need to say anything. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to follow my lead. But I have felt this. This is my quote on this notebook. I have felt this. I have been afraid, and I've seen the power of words and language and written word and using the tongue to call things by their right name. When we dance around the word, it has power over us. When we're afraid of the word, it has power over us. So I'll touch on my story ever so briefly. I was raped at 16. It was very humiliating, confusing. I told a few people, peers of mine, people my age, about what had happened, and I did say the word rape. I said, I think I was raped. But the people I told could not support me. They made light of it. They made jokes of it. There were peers of mine who saw me get raped, and some of them, while in school, would tease me about it. Someone told me I wanted to be raped. It was so confusing and dark and twisted, and I struggled. And after I told people, and after I saw how everyone was responding, I turned inward. I swallowed the story, and I didn't talk about it again for a while, for years. And I spiraled, and my life got out of control. I drank, I smoked. It was painful. But then two experiences happened in my life that changed my direction and helped me move in a path of healing. And it was that I was incarcerated for a violation of a misdemeanor, drinking-related misdemeanor. And I went bike touring, meaning I traveled by bicycle with, my tent on the back of my bike. The two experiences had something in common, which is that they're both kind of meditative. In jail, I was there for 30 days. There was no alcohol, there was no drugs, there was no school, there was no work. You're just kind of sitting, chatting, maybe reading, writing. It's quiet. And in that quiet, I meditated, even without trying. And when I went bike touring, I would bike for 8 hours a day. I was traveling long distances by bicycle. And biking is meditative. It's a moving meditation, repetitive movements. In these repetitive movements, thoughts, stories, emotions came to the front of my mind that I had been avoiding, pretending weren't there, not wanting to address, that I forgot about or tried to forget about. Same with in jail. In that quiet space, stories, emotions, memories came to the forefront of my mind. And in jail and while bike touring, it became evident that I needed to address this trauma from when I was 16. I had avoided it for years. I pushed it away while it ate me alive. And while I couldn't say it out loud and while I couldn't write it on paper, the word rape, I knew, okay, I have to address this. It's so clear. I am suffering. I have to figure this out. So I went back to Chicago, where I lived for a long time, and I remember telling a friend of mine, hey, do you know of anyone who can help? Do you know any resources that help people who have been sexually assaulted or have experienced sexual assault? And she later told me she knew of a place, this nonprofit that offered one-on-one and group therapy. So I went. I got one-on-one therapy with this amazing therapist, and then I participated in group therapy, art therapy. But I started with the one-on-one. And that was the first time I ever sat with someone who really heard me when I talked about my pain and my trauma. She was awesome. I know it makes a difference when you have an awesome therapist. She was fantastic. And I remember the first time I really told her the details of what had occurred when I was 16, and I was spiraling. I was out of my body. I was freaking out. I was scared. I was just dissociating. But she heard me, and she saw me, and she made space for me, and I grew stronger. My voice grew stronger. My body grew stronger, and it became more capable of holding more and handling more. My tongue grew stronger and more confident. Then I went to group therapy. And the same thing, I was in group with women who had also experienced sexual trauma and rape. And we talked and we made art and we shared, and I grew stronger. My voice grew stronger. My tongue grew stronger. My body grew stronger. Then I got involved more in this realm of art making and an art gallery that helped survivors of sexual assault and rape. And I spoke at events about having been raped and healed, how far I had come. My tongue grew stronger. My voice grew stronger. My body grew stronger. I participated in circles of people where this conversation was normal to be had. We're talking about rape and sexual assault and healing and what it feels like and what the journey is like, and art was a norm. I grew stronger. My voice grew stronger because our voices can grow stronger. We are resilient. We can bounce back. We can bounce back stronger. We can come back stronger. Our bodies, our voices, our tongues, our pen. And as my journey continued, I saw the power of the voice, of the tongue, of the pen. That's why people censor, because our words hold weight. Our pen holds power. Worlds can change with our words. Our reality can change with our words. Our stories help people to heal. Our stories help people to set people free. You can have nothing in the world, but if you have your tongue, you have power. Because our words are powerful. So when I think about calling things by their right name, it gives us power. We can address it. We can say, we're going to deal with that. We're going to heal from that. We're going to confront it head on. And that's what I'm talking about. This thing right here. Even though it makes people uncomfortable, even though it's a big word, even though it's a lot to sit with. I don't say the word rape to get a rise out of people. I don't say it to trigger people. I don't say it to make people uncomfortable, not at all. But I call things by their right name when that's what's being referred to. And if I want to tell my story, while my traumas are not my whole story, they're part of my story. And healing from them is a big part of my story. And I won't diminish my story to make the world comfortable. I don't intend to make the world uncomfortable, but this is the story. This is part of it. And it's big and it's heavy and it can be scary and it can make people uncomfortable. But when we call things by their right name, we can heal. We can seek the help we need. I need help with this. We can take our power back. We can share our stories. We can use our tongue and pen to heal, spread awareness, show people a way that things are possible. We can help people to awaken. We can awaken. And we can say, yeah, that thing has no power over me anymore. Whatever it is, or that person, no power over me anymore. And it doesn't mean I don't feel anything when I say the word rape. Of course I do. Of course I do. I feel. And still I can say it because the tongue can grow stronger. Our voices can grow stronger. Our bodies can become more capable. Our minds can become more capable of holding more, handling more. We are resilient. We are strong. We are flexible. And learning to call rape, rape, and say it when that's what's being talked about. When that's part of the story or the events that occurred is powerful for the ones saying it and the ones listening. When we normalize having hard conversations and saying things that are scary and calling things by their right name, we help to change the world and help people to heal as well. When we shy away from it, it becomes this secret, this hidden story that can eat us alive. I know I'm not the only one who was eaten alive by her pain and trauma, but we can come back. We're still here. Always use the proper name for things. Fear of a name increases fear of the thing itself. I have felt this. And I'm not telling you to do something you're not ready for or comfortable for. I'm not telling you you have to be anywhere, in any shape, at any time. But this is what I have felt and experienced. This is a transformation I have felt and experienced. And I really wanted to share it with you because it's a part of this world. Words are powerful. The tongue is powerful. The written word is powerful. And we all can take our power back anytime we want.